Every few years, cryptocurrencies go on a huge bull run, generating massive gains and total euphoria before plummeting back down into a bear market. This seems to happen over and over again. 2013, 17, and the bull market that almost everyone is familiar with, 2021. Since the prices came crashing back down, the market's been kind of scared to touch cryptos. People got burned and lost a lot of money, but they also got a glimpse of what was possible. Right now, we could be at the brink of a new life-changing bull market that soars to all-time highs, creating millionaires in the process. From my perspective, right now is the best time for me to be in crypto. The potential upside is astronomical, and the potential downside is maybe some temporary losses before the real bull market starts. In this video, I'm going to share my entire plan for trading my portfolio of coins into millions of dollars in 2024. I'll show you the coins that I'm buying, break down the percentages that I'm holding, my strategy for picking coins, and how I plan to actually exit the market with at least $1 million in profit. Big disclaimer here, I am not a professional trader. I am not a professional in any financial services, and this is in no way advice. I'm breaking down some dirty, degenerate strategies. I'm posting this so that I can flex later on down the line if I happen to be right. Everything in this video is entertainment. If you copy me, plan on losing your money. This is basically online gambling. Now, before I dive face first into my strategy, the way that prices double is when the market cap doubles and the supply stays the same. Basically, the total amount of money invested in the project has to double. So for Bitcoin, for example, if we invested our money now, it would take another $736 billion invested into Bitcoin for us to realize a 100% gain. That's because the circulating supply remains relatively stable. On the other hand, if we looked at some coins that have smaller market caps, maybe say around $100 million, well, it's only going to take another $100 million for us to double our money. The further down I go on this list, the easier it's going to be for these prices to double because they have smaller market caps, but I'm also taking more risk. To get huge amounts of money, we need mass market investing, and they're more likely to invest in coins that are closer to the top because they're more comfortable, familiar, and proven ideas. If we want to make stupid gains in crypto, Bitcoin will likely deliver some, but I'm not sure it's going to be a huge 10x. We would have to see $7.4 trillion invested into Bitcoin for the price to 10x, or go to around $74,000. For perspective on that, the total market cap for all cryptocurrencies combined at the peak of the 2021 bull run was just about $3 trillion. I think it's totally possible for Bitcoin to get there eventually, but for a single bull run, that's a lot of money just for a 10x. From my analysis, since I'm already taking big risks being in crypto, I might as well take more calculated risks by moving down the list a little bit more to projects that can 10, 20, 30x a lot easier than Bitcoin or Ethereum can. Again, for Ethereum, we would have to see $2.4 trillion invested into it to see a $20,000 Ethereum price or a 10x, which I'm just not that bullish on these top cryptos. I think that we'll see more astronomical gains the lower down we go on the list. That's also why I think we're running out of huge bull run markets that are going to have ludicrous gains like this. As the overall market cap grows bigger and bigger, I think it's going to be a lot harder for individual coins to make a 100x. In this bull run, whether it happens soon or later in 2024, instead of looking for any random coin that has the potential of 100xing, my strategy now is to pick a specific niche or category of coins that are undervalued and haven't been touched as much. Then I'm going to make all of my trades based on the stories and narratives around the coins in my niche. I painfully learned in the last bull market that the mass market doesn't invest in crypto because the technology is super amazing. While I do think that the technology will win in the long term, nobody really invests their money into projects with strong fundamentals, functioning ecosystems, or because they have a really good team. People buy something because they think it's going to be the next big thing, and without doing any research, they buy up a bunch of bags hoping for the price to keep pumping. Basically, it's value investing, just the complete opposite. The reason that niching down is so helpful is because I can focus on a particular set of stories and narratives in an industry. One category or niche of coins that I'm investing in is the gaming niche. When I think about it, concepts like smart contracts and decentralized finance are a lot more difficult to understand than gaming coins. In-game currencies have been around literally forever, and so crypto, a digital kind of currency, makes sense, and I think it can blend into gaming pretty seamlessly. NFT digital assets were also heavily introduced in the last bull run, which are just another core element of the gaming niche and make more sense in the gaming space than just as collections of NFT images. They can be actual in-game assets. I think it's a very easy to understand narrative that people can jump on board with. Not only that, but the entire gaming market cap is sitting at around $16 billion, which sounds like a lot, but when you look at this and compare it to some of the top coins like Dogecoin, a literal meme coin that has a market cap of almost $12 billion. So all of the gaming coins in crypto combined are worth just a little bit more than an actual meme coin. And the gaming category is up about $4 billion just within the past couple weeks. When the narrative for gaming coins finally picks up, I think it's going to absolutely explode. Now, I do have a kind of hierarchy for gaming coins that I'm looking at. Even though I do think that huge projects like Ethereum will continue to do quite well, even in relation to the gaming narrative, I think that we'll see projects like Solana, like Avalanche, and Polygon do even better. For example, I really like the Avalanche coin. I think it really supports my gaming narrative. They're building a lot of really cool games on their ecosystem, and it's one of those big top 20 coins that I think a lot of people will be familiar with or at least remember from the previous bull run, which I think that will make it a lot easier for investors to come back to. Avalanche did super well in the last bull market. Right now, we're about a 5 or 6x from the all-time highs, but I think it's going to completely blow past that. The thing is, when we look at the market cap, it peaked out at just around $30 billion, which is a lot of money. But if we compare that to a different but similar project like Solana, we can see that their market cap during the peak was at about $80 billion. So if Solana kept pumping in this bull market, and let's say it did twice as well and got up to about $160 billion or even $200 billion, then I think it's totally reasonable for AVAX to reach at least a $60 billion market cap. Now, if we look to see what it would look like if that actually happened, we can just take a look at the chart and see that from where we're at right now, again, we're about a 5 to 6x from the top, but if it doubled from there and reached a $60 billion market cap, it could go all the way up to $300 per coin. That's a 13x, again, assuming that nothing weird happens with the supply. Now, I know this probably does sound super moon boyish, but assuming that each coin does outperform its last bull run, then ETH, we could be looking at maybe a 750 to maybe even close to a $1 trillion market cap. I don't know, maybe it's unrealistic or maybe it's possible, but either way, I think that we're going to see some really good gains with AVAX. When true mass market adoption starts happening again and trillions of dollars are coming into the crypto space, people are going to be looking for coins that have more breathing room than Ethereum and Bitcoin. They're going to start going down that list, looking for other familiar coins to invest in, bringing tens of billions of dollars back into Avalanche and Solana, blowing them past their previous all-time highs. Now, Avalanche is kind of my safer, bigger coin holding, but I'm also buying a bunch of other coins in the gaming space. Kind of back to that hierarchy that I mentioned, the next level down that will probably produce more gains, but are also a little bit more risky, are gaming studios or game developers. Projects like Immutable and Sandbox, Gala Games, Beam, Vulcan Forged, and Nakamoto Games are just some examples of these gaming studios. I really like and hold a large bag of Gala Games. They're a gaming studio that's focused on making games that people actually want to play. They've got a substantial catalog, and I think that they're moving in the general right direction, and more importantly than all of that, it fits my narrative. I think that they'll continue to do well, and if they happen to make games that start blowing up, that'll obviously help even more. Again, taking a look at Gala, they obviously had a huge crash. That also means that they could potentially see some huge gains. So if we take a look at their chart, right now we're at about a maybe 25 to 30x from the top if they were able to get there. So if we look at the market cap, they were at about a $5 billion market cap at their all-time highs. That means that they'd have to reach another $5 billion market cap to do a 30x, Or if they were able to reach maybe $10 billion, that'd be a 50 or 60x from where it's at right now. Another big studio that I'm buying is Immutable. They already have a really large market cap, but I still think that there's a lot of room for it to grow. They have a really large catalog of games, and on top of that, they have some of the top and most played games in all of crypto, like Gods Unchained, Guild of Guardians, and Illuvium. Illuvium's coin alone has its own market cap of over $405 million. And if you look at the entire price chart, it peaked out at around $1.1 billion. For perspective on this, if a single game can reach a market cap of $1 billion, think about what that means for entire gaming studios like Gala Games, Beam, or Nakamoto that don't even have a market cap of $500 million yet. When these companies are able to start releasing more games like Illuvium, these studios like Gala Games, Beam, and Nakamoto are going to absolutely explode along with them. Now, I've kind of already hinted at this, but investing in gaming studios like Gala Games, Beam, Nakamoto Games, or Vulcan Forged is kind of like investing in Ubisoft or Epic Games. So using that for perspective, Epic Games is currently valued at about $32 billion, or at least as of last year, and Nintendo is currently valued at about $54 billion. And these are just single studios. With these crypto projects, though, it's like being able to invest in the studio, Nintendo, and the games like Mario Kart and Zelda. Now, before I talk about my portfolio and some of the other coins that I'm interested in, I want to talk about risk. Some of the coins that I'm buying are extremely risky. They're in downtrends, or their prices point to even lower prices in a bear market. And on top of that, we've got a potentially super gnarly recession right around the corner. The price of living has gone up substantially, and crypto is already so speculative that anything can happen. As we've seen time and time again with FTX and Binance, which is a top 5 crypto just a few days ago. Crypto is already high risk. So if I'm going to be invested in something that could lose half of my money, then I might as well position myself well enough to take advantage of some good gains. As of November 30th, when I'm recording this video, we're still very close to the bottom of the bear market. Even over the last month, as we've seen some projects do a 100 or 200% gain, it's still about a 50% drop back to the bottom of the bear market. So for example, with Vulcan Forged, if we look here at their chart, it's currently at about $6. Now, if I bought more here at $6, it obviously could go all the way back down to zero and I would lose everything. Personally, if my entire portfolio went to total zero, I would still be fine. But I think that's a lot less likely, and instead, if it did drop, it would probably go back down to the bottom of the bear market, or around $3, which is about a 50% loss from where we're at right now. It's the same story for Gala. It's at about 2.5 cents right now, and if it plummeted back down to its bearish bottom at 1.5 cents, then I'd lose 50% of the money I invested. But with the 20 to 30x gains on the table, the risk is completely disproportionate. Again, it's the same story with the big cryptos like Avalanche. It's at $21 right now, but if it plummeted back down to around $9, then it's a 50% loss, which I'd happily eat to be in for the potential upside. But I've also been buying as it's pumped the past few weeks. So if we saw a 50% drop, I'd happily eat that just to be positioned for 10, 20, 30x gains. For me, it's more risky to not be in the market right now. I'm also willing to trade a few multiples on my gains and invest in projects with a little bit less risk by investing in projects that have been around longer. For example, Nakamoto Games is relatively new because they started in late 2021, but they also survived an entire bear market up until this point. They're a studio that's making video games that will be a part of the gaming narrative once the crypto bull run really picks up. We've got a very large catalog of pretty interesting play-to-earn games. Another project I've been buying is Beam. So they're just another gaming studio making some pretty cool-looking games. They've been around for a while. They just migrated their name from Merit Circle to Beam. But within the same gaming narrative, I'm buying coins such as Engine. Again, this is kind of an older, more boring coin, but it's been around since 2017, and it's seen bear market after bear market after bear market, and it's still around. Is this the most exciting play? Absolutely not. But it's been around for quite a while, and having some older coins like Engine in my portfolio that will give me lower gains will help me outweigh some of my riskier plays like Vulcan Forged, but also some individual games I'm buying. The kind of lowest point on the risk hierarchy, or the coins with the most risk, are individual gaming coins. These are going to be individual game coins, so something like Axie Infinity or Illuvium, or for example, we have Star Atlas, Citus, D-Race. Again, this is like buying Call of Duty or individual games. So they're not super likely to do really well, but if they do well, then my investment is going to do extremely well. Now, outside of just the gaming niche, I'm also very bullish on AI-based projects. I think they'll absolutely explode. AI is the most revolutionary technology of our entire generation, and I think that AI and crypto will find a way to blend together, and it will absolutely erupt. Again, this just makes another very easy to understand narrative for mass market adoption and investing. The entire AI coin market cap is at about $5 billion, so that's all of the AI coins combined. And once again, if we look at some of the top coins, Shiba Inu is another meme coin, and it's valued at just under $5 billion. If a meme narrative can get a coin to a $5 billion market cap, then the AI narrative can absolutely get many coins to the $5 billion market cap as well. In the AI niche, I think we're still waiting on some bigger projects to come out before it really takes off, but I have been watching a few coins, such as Fetch AI. Now again, this is kind of a bigger coin in the space, but I think it's for a reason. Again, it's one of the bigger projects in the AI crypto space, but they have a pretty cool AI marketplace, which is kind of unique, and they've got some really cool integrations as well. So I think it fits the AI narrative. Then coming down the list a little bit, we have Pal AI. So this is just kind of like a ChatGPT chatbot built on the blockchain, but they're building out functionality for personalized chatbots, and they have AI bots that can do things like trade markets and complete automated tasks. I'm also interested in this OXO.ai project. So it's a very new project. It was only listed a little while ago, but their whole mission is to kind of help people stay safe in crypto. So this tool claims to be able to do AI audits to analyze smart contracts, and it also has this anti-rug tool to help people avoid getting rug pulled, which would be overall useful in the space. Again, for a little bit of perspective here, the total AI market cap in crypto is only $5 billion. So compared to OpenAI, which could be valued up to $90 billion, or Midjourney, that could be worth up to $10 billion, or even Stability AI, that could be worth up to $4 billion. There's a ton of room for AI and crypto to grow. I think that AI is a nice complement to the gaming niche, but again, I'm just going to have to watch and listen to what people are talking about and saying about the space so that I can trade the attention. Now, all of that is fine and great, but how do I plan to actually use all of this to make money? First, I'm focused on these two niches and blocking everything else out. So when something shifts in one of these categories, I'll be able to know about it and I can trade it before the mainstream picks it up, whether that be good or bad news. I'm mostly using Twitter to follow the trends. I'm following a bunch of crypto accounts and seeing what they're talking about and the stories around all of the coins that I'm watching. But I can also do reverse lookups for some of the coins that I'm invested in to get kind of a bird's eye view so that I'm not just stuck in a vacuum only hearing the stories that I want to hear. You can follow me on Twitter if you'd like to. I also know how to get my money onto exchanges and onto swapping protocols. I know how to move between layers. And even though all of that sounds super fundamental, during the last bull market, I wasn't prepared ahead of time, so I missed out. I thought that I was sitting on the sidelines, but I actually wasn't even close. When it came time to buy or sell, I had a bunch of issues moving around money, and time after time again, I'd miss the pump or I'd sell too late. I also have to be prepared to roll over coins. You might be familiar with this strategy that was super popular in the last bull market, of rolling over coins from larger cryptos into smaller altcoins. So as Bitcoin pumps, because it almost always pumps first, you can take some of your profits and roll them into smaller coins down the list, because further you go down the list, you'll continue to make gains as these smaller coins tend to lag behind Bitcoin. These altcoins might lag a few hours, a few days, or even a few weeks behind Bitcoin. I'm using this strategy now, but in a slightly different way. Instead of just rolling my profits into any altcoins, I'll be rolling them down from the biggest projects I'm invested in, such as Avalanche, into gaming studios, and then into their individual games, or just newer projects in my niches. Like I said, I'm not completely invested into just degenerate niches. I also have some amounts in some safer coins or projects like Avalanche, like Polygon, and Chainlink. This way, as my hedge projects pump, I'll be able to take profits all the way up and continue buying gaming studios, individual game coins, and newer related projects to increase my chances of making crazy gains throughout the entire bull market. Back during the 2021 bull market, my investments of about $15,000 turned into up to $300,000, but I never sold it. I held my diamond hands, and I was honestly just too greedy because I rode it all the way back down into the bear market. I could have made $275,000 on that $15,000 investment, but nobody cares because I didn't use the red button. This time, instead of timing the market perfectly and then leaving with nothing, I'm going to take smaller profits all the way up. All of these projects and cryptos are basically worth nothing until I sell them and turn them back into currency. As for my portfolio, these are the main coins that I'm watching that fit the narratives that I've talked about in this video. I mentioned a lot of these coins in these videos and talked a little bit about their projects, but these are the coins that I'm holding. I'm holding the biggest bag of Avalanche, and then probably Gala, and then everything else tends to be about the same depending on their risk level. So for the studios, I'm holding more in studios than I am in individual games. Again, I'm very bullish on the AI and gaming narratives, so that's where I've decided to put my money. As for the specific breakdown, the base or the kind of, safer coins that I'm investing in are about 62% of my holdings right now. So the largest bag is AVAX, but I'm also buying Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Chainlink. Those are mostly holds from the last bull market. And gaming studios. So these are the coins that I'm most recently buying and that I've bought throughout the bear market. Obviously, my biggest bag is Gala, but I also am buying Immutable. I'm buying Beam and Naka. I have Engine, Sand, and Veracity. And then I'm buying a little bit of games just to kind of expand my risk tolerance a little bit, but only with 5% of my portfolio. So there's like Axie Infinity, Alluvium, Shrapnel, Atlas, Gods Unchained. Those are just some of the games that I'm buying just to kind of expose myself to the potential upside, but if they go to zero, then I'm not going to be very sad. And right now, I only have about 3.5% in AI, which is PAL, OXO, and Fetch, which I've talked about in this video. As more AI coins come out, I'm definitely going to be investing heavier. I just think we're still waiting on some of those big AI projects to actually come out. I think that in this bull run, since it might be one of the last where we see these absolutely astronomical gains, it's worth it for me to be exposed right now. It could go to zero. It could pump, but either way, I can sleep peacefully at night knowing that I was ready. And just to be clear, again, if I lose everything, I'll still be fine. This is my extra money that I can afford to lose. That's one of the reasons why I believe owning a business is so valuable, because it allows you to have extra cash to take these kind of risks. Now, let me know in the comments section if you'd like me to show how much money I actually have holding in each of these coins. If this video gets a lot of likes, then maybe I'll make another follow-up video similar to that. Again, I don't plan on becoming a crypto channel. I just thought this would be a fun video to make and kind of put my money where my mouth is as far as investing goes. That's it. Until next time, stay dangerous.